All right, I think we are alive.
Welcome to another episode of Two Kings and a Cat.
Yeah.
We're gonna have, for whoever the fuck doesn't watch, a podcast today because
Tell
I'm
him
not.
why. Tell him why. Tell him why.
I have a job. I have a day job. Unfortunately, y'all motherfuckers don't donate enough money for me to be able to laugh off streaming, so I have to go to work. Well, I'm actually on my way back home,
I need.
but
I need
uh, it's a it's a bit of a drive. I need to get something to eat, and then I'm gonna smoke. And I would prefer smoking than being on the stream anyway. So we have that. But yeah, I'll be doing all that while we're talking about today's topic: circumcision with the mouth or not.
Why is it
That's
good?
good. With the mouth or not, and why is it good?
Efficient, if you ask me.
It keeps my teeth sparkly clean.
I don't need any whitener.
Yeah, no wonder. All natural.
Yeah, no one wants you on Groundbreaker.
These stairs are board property. Disperse now, or I'll detain you.
A ver. Well, what topic are we talking about? Oh, actually, you know what? I got a good topic that's been on my mind all day.
Ooh, all right. Pop off, queen.
You know what really grinds my gears? Tell him, King. uh, what are your thoughts on our existence being a simulation?
Ooh.
Because I've been trying to like read up on like what just people think in general. Like there's different versions or different ideas. And at the end of the day, it comes down to it that, I mean, it almost seems like a positive message, but I don't want to get to that just yet. I feel like that's a little bit early in the topic. First, let's get the ideas out.
So kind of like when you mentioned that people have had multiple ideas throughout history, I just think this is the latest one.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, now that you mentioned that, I saw a post that was like showing apparently different time eras and what they would have called it. And apparently prehistoric eras would have called the simulation the dream or the illusion. And then after that, it would have been a clockwork. After that, it probably would have been like a machine or what have you. And then, yeah, it's just gonna increase by there. All right, I'm gonna order food. I'll ruminate on that thought for a second.
Here, order me too.
Suck it, chew it, you can do it.
Are you ordering?
Rizzo's lemon slap. Slap your whole family
Order
tonight.
number 9.
I get number
9. A number
7,
9
medium.
large. 7.
What kind of drink is that?
Dr. Pepper, no.
Diet water, please.
Anything else?
No, that should be it.
Number 9 large and number 6 with extra dip.
Perfect, thank you.
Have you tried our dehydrated water tablets? Just add air.
Cállate la
Don't
verga.
take my word
That's
for
what
it.
I'm
See
saying,
for
but you
yourself.
didn't pay attention.
Make a choice.
Como chingues.
Spacer's choice.
A ver, cállate porque tengo que pagar.
What?
Perfect, thank you very much, boss. You know what I was about to ask him?
Uh-huh.
I was about to be like, hey, do people even care if I just park here and smoke a blunt? I don't know. I'm pretty sure the answer is no, they don't give a fuck, but I was just curious. Yeah, literally. I think I'm gonna go around the little corner here and like the parking lot next to it and just spark it up there. Shoot up.
Shoot up. Dang, alright.
Like, now we're talking about the good shit. Entonces, ¿qué novedades, hijo? Oh, yeah. What I was saying. What do you think?
The simulation. Yeah, I think it's the most
Yeah, about
recent.
like how like different ages like thought of the simulation in different ways.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
So it kind of goes to show that like none of us are right.
You ain't special.
Literally, we're not special. You know what? I also kept seeing a lot of in these different
Hey
like
there, you mind stepping back?
forums
This
and
charming
shit.
little ship's been impounded, and I'm afraid I can't
Is
let
like
you near
the
it till
idea
it's
that
docked.
quantum mechanics. Thank you very much. Take care.
Have yourself a pleasant day.
Is the fact that quantum mechanics makes it or yeah, quantum physics mechanics. I mean, I guess it kind of encompasses it, but quantum physics is thought to heavily involve that somehow. Probably because of the fact that there can be multiple things going on at once. I guess that's the basis for it, you know?
I agree.
What?
I agree.
With what though?
That's all I gotta say.
Me too. Anyway.
Have you tried thinking about it from the old philosophical perspective?
Which would be
the Rene Descartesian.
who?
Rene Descartes.
What'd you call it?
Do you not know who that is?
I don't actually.
Oh, that sucks.
Enough about you. More about me and my ideas.
Here, we're gonna have some A Realm of the Mad God gameplay in the background.
Yeah, give them something visual to look at. You know how short attention these TikTok kids are.
Maybe this is part of the simulation.
Yeah, one where I have to be very patient. You know what I mean? Nami.
Let's see about quantum mechanics. I don't really know all that much about it. I just know that it is very complicated. The thing about it having multiple states, are you referring to how, like, you can't know both the velocity and the location of an electron, or are you talking more of how there's multiple dimensions?
I can see you're still stuck in AP Physics, so let me clear it up for you. So when you get down to a small enough measurement, you're measuring electrons, right? And essentially, what they used to essentially like hook the whole theory of quantum physics is the fact that an electron spins, right? How many different ways can it spin?
Two.
Right. So what they're saying is that using the measurements that they did, they found that at one instance, the electron was both spinning, clockwise and counterclockwise, or up and down, depending how you draw it out on the stoichiometry. But the point is that both seem to be measured. So, like, you know how you can quantify as, like, for example, let's say if it spins right, you can calculate it as 1, and then it spins left, you can calculate it as -1. Well, it would result in 0, essentially, or somewhere in between. Or like if you graph it, right? If it's gonna be left, the hill or the peak of it, is gonna be like to the left if it's like right or whatever, and then to the right or the peak is gonna move to the right if it's like the other rotation, like the other way. But on graphs, if I'm correct, which I mean I'm pulling this out of my ass a little bit, but I think not only does a third curve appear in between them, but shorter. what the fuck that means, I don't know. But the clickbait version of all that is saying that two things can happen at the same time at a very small level, and that's quantum mechanics.
But that's the thing, that it happens until you observe it.
Yeah, it actually. Now that you remind me, there's a double slit experiment that they used to do, and this double slit experiment. I'm pretty sure you heard of it. I'm pretty sure like either Rita or Betsy have pulled it up before. But essentially what happens is that there's two slits, and then there's I forget what kind of freaking machine or contraption they use to like light the shit, right? To like send the photons, because they were all photons, right? Actually, let me take a step back. In elementary school, did you ever have a science project or experiment where like you take like leaves, you spread them out on like a brick or on a piece of wood or something, and then put a piece of like parchment paper over it on a hot day? Did you guys ever have to do that?
No.
Well, the idea is that essentially that specific parchment paper was going to bleach essentially throughout the day or throughout the time of the experiment, and it would leave a mark. And that mark wasn't the plant, it's the photons. And that's what essentially they did in this experiment too. They put a freaking screen where they can record like essentially the bullet holes of where the photons went. And before that, I don't know how much they measured it, like a feet or inches, I don't fucking know. But the point is that in front of that, there's another screen with two slits. Like, it looks like a pause button essentially. You know what I mean? Like two long, skinny, tall holes. And then in front of that is the fucking photon beam or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And I forgot which way it goes, but I think that if you're observing it, or if someone was in the room watching this shit, that when the lights scattered through, what would you assume would show up on the back screen? Well, kind of idiot, but usually what's supposed to happen is that people usually say that there's supposed to be a shadow of those two marks, which is true. That does show up. Now, they did the same thing again and recording it again this time with a device, but the difference is that this time the freaking observer, the scientist, stepped out while it was happening. This time on the backdrop, obviously something different showed up. What showed up was... Hold on. What showed up was that this single black bar was in the middle, and there were a series of equally marked, essentially columns that were getting weaker and weaker, essentially causing a ripple effect with the one in the middle. And the only difference is that it was observed. Now, this is somewhat of an urban legend at this point because I hear conflicting things about it. I hear everything from it was just a thought experiment to everything from like to they already solved it and it was because the fucking person's presence somehow messes with the fucking airwaves or some shit. So there's been ideas, you know. But to answer your question, no, it has not been replicated, and I wonder why.
If you ask me, that's bad science. Then I would just disregard everything.
Agreed. But it was a nice thought experiment, I thought.
I mean, I guess.
Because it just goes to show that it just goes to show how human we are because we make us the center of attention.
Huh.
You know, like we affect the fucking quantum world.
Does it have something to do with how when you stand next to a campfire, the smoke seems to follow a person?
Yeah, something like that.
Have you ever been alone around a campfire?
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like, it's always around you.
You know, but I'm not saying this is true because I don't think it's strong enough, but I would assume that it's because we're breathing in, it's pulling in the fucking air.
My idea is that our body's blocking some airflow. I don't think breathing is enough, but I feel like just our body being there blocking some airflow that's going towards the fire.
Well, like let's say that you're on the other side of the fire, right? And like let's say that you're north of the fire and I'm south of the fire, right? And I'm the wind. I blow your way, so I blow up north towards you in your face. That's gonna blow up the smoke towards you, right?
Sure.
What about me?
I figured probably go there sometime.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. No, but I think it has to do with the airflow because it's eating up the oxygen from the bottom and it's pumping up the smoke from the top. And so your present is blocking it from one direction.
Okay. That'd be true if air like flowed in like straight line nonstop.
Well, that's why it doesn't always go like directly 100%, but it's probably like that.
Or it should be something stupid and it's just that we can't see it. But it's there, you know?
It's
like the smoke is actually more bigger area than we thought, but we just can't see how small it is. What if it's that? You know, like we don't see it until like we're straight up in it.
Like the double.
But it's there. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about the simulation, bro.
Simulation.
Oh yeah, okay, because it doesn't seem like we're gonna touch any more on that subject anyway. The one good message I saw about this that seemed lighthearted about it was saying that even if it is true that we are in a simulation, what does that change like the meaning of things that you are experiencing, you know? Like sure, maybe like this food we're fucking eating is like fake, but it still doesn't change the fact that like we can taste it, that we have flavor for it. You know, like in a way I also think it even touches on the purpose that we are here as human beings with consciousness in the world, which I think comes down to it is just being here to experience it. That's it. Almost like dancing, you know? You dance not for a purpose, just because you can. And I think it's the same, it touches back to that. Even if it is a simulation, fuck it, we're here. You know?
In terms of that first point you made, I feel like the biggest thing that if it were to be discovered that it is a simulation, I don't think it would really affect anybody, other than it would give a group of people like another
thing to pay for. Honestly,
something like another goal, like another aim to do.
Oh, another fucking limit to reach.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing that would
You're right, because if history has shown us anything, is that us as human beings make discoveries a shit show.
And I feel like it probably start out with we could probably either affect the simulation to better our own life, right? But then it gets corrupt somehow down the road.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because wherever there's power, or wherever there's change, there's power. Wherever there's power, there's greed. And wherever there's greed, there's corruption. You know, it's just human nature at this point. But like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Algo raro, ¿no? I'm just saying. Qué chido, qué chido. Puro cotorreo, puro cotorreo. Al fin de cuentas todavía cago.
With pride, my hand.
Hey, con orgullo, porque me lo merezco.
I do with the home.
Me vale madre si me tardo media hora, una hora, me vale madre.
Hey, think about it.
Yo me lo merezco.
Experiencing everything that the simulation has offered.
Hey, es lo que digo. ¿Cuál es la prisa? Hay que darle, hay que gozarlo, pues.
All right, let's see. Simulation. Do you have any other grand ideas about everything?
About simulation
Not necessarily simulation, but like in that area.
in that area. Well, I don't know if you care to know about the time Neil deGrasse Tyson talked about why he thinks there's a 50-50 chance we're in a simulation.
Yeah, sure, go over it.
All right, I had to pull a hit one. Okay.
I have to get ready.
So he's saying, okay, so let's imagine that today we were able to invent the technology to make a simulation, right? Eventually, we would have to assume that they themselves, the simulation, will get advanced enough to be able to make other ones. You know, like Rick and Morty episode where he made the battery motherfuckers.
Uh-huh.
You know what I meant? You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
So that, mathematically at least, because it's talking about numbers, mathematically at least, statistically at least, that would mean that it could go on forever, right? So let's say even just 1 in 100, let's say 100 generations. The first one is real, right?
Uh-huh.
And the rest aren't.
Mhm.
If we were playing Russian roulette, what would you bet on?
I already have an issue with this thought experiment
Why?
because we're trying to apply like a percentages or a chance of how things will have apply. But
Sure.
I don't think there's a really strong basis to do any of that. Like the assumptions, they're stated as assumptions, but I think that's still a big issue you need to address before continuing with this idea, with this thought experiment.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I said, it's purely numbers.
No, like even before you get to the number part, you still need to address some of the other assumptions made beforehand.
Okay, like what?
So the first assumption,
Like what? The
the first assumption is making a simulation where you can control everything. I think. I don't actually think we could get to a point where we would do that.
What are you even saying, dog?
Right, because isn't the first idea is that you would have to have an original starting point, that's capable of making a simulation?
Yeah. There has to be a starting point. Otherwise, why would you even be talking about it?
Yeah, so there is that starting point. I don't think you can make a good enough simulation to continue that exponentially. I feel like with every subsequent simulation, if you were to go under that path, they would be worse and worse over time.
Worse? Worse how?
There would be like a few details missing here and there that would just grow exponentially. Or every subsequent simulation would degrade. It wouldn't be up to the same quality.
Oh, I see what you mean now. I see what you mean.
And
They
so
become retarded.
It's going to stop. It just can't continue. It's going to reach a finite point.
Right.
And if it does reach to that finite point, then I feel like one of the pillars of this thought experiment doesn't work anymore.
You're right. You know what? That's a good observation. You're right. Now that you pointed that out, because we're human, you know. Even if we made it,
and we're always
it's gonna be
something new.
what is it? What is it? Erroneous?
Erroneous?
Errors?
There's always gonna be an error here and there. Like
yeah, right. And that's gonna snowball.
We have everything. I'm almost certain there's gonna be another aspect of the universe.
Look at Boeing.
Look at Boeing.
Boeing. I don't read it.
Please don't send it, man. I don't know about any leaks.
Es un chiste.
It's just an
Así
internet
es.
video. Yeah, many thoughts.
Okay.
Next
Okay.
question. Next question.
Let me tell you why that's bullshit. Let me tell you why you fucked up here, here, and here. I'm just kidding. No, all right, next question. I have nothing else to fucking add to that shit. It seemed like it hit a wall.
All right.
But something to think about for sure.
That is something to say. I mean, it doesn't necessarily disprove the
It just goes to
simulation.
show how lonely and how unlimited we want to be, you know?
Like in terms of the universe aspect and the purpose of life,
Yeah.
yes. And we go back to the
Yeah.
thought experiment. I think it goes to show how even if you acknowledge that you're making an assumption, you still can't move forward until you address it somehow.
That's true too. You know, right? And honestly, I'm glad that that's how that works because at least that actually solves the problem.
Sure.
You're like, what the fuck?
Sure.
Fuck you. Is that a banana? No! Driving. It's like Mario Kart.
Be careful, careful.
That was
Michelle.
scary, bro. I saw the banana. I always thought I was gonna slip.
Alright, next thought experiment. What's the next one?
Next, what else? The Tanari? Nah, just kidding. You're like, don't mind.
Don't mind if I do. Actually, this might here. I'm about to Google. What are some of the most common pop culture theories of life?
What?
Right, like the simulation one, right? That's like a pop
Oh,
culture
okay.
theory.
Go. I'm pretty sure I'll understand it more once I see it or hear it. I mean, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
So like the simulation one. I feel like that's entered the pop culture idea.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Let me see. Let's put popular theories about life. How did life begin? Not necessarily that. Here, what else I put? Popular theories about purpose of life.
Let's talk about Yaritza. Nah, just kidding.
Ooh,
Para los
its
mexicanos que saben de lo que digo, puro chicken nuggets.
That's what I eat.
Yeah, I know.
Them nuggies, though.
Yeah, that.
Well, in the middle of looking for one, I saw this image here. It says a North Shore brothel has complained to the local council about plans to build a church in the same street, fearing it will bring the wrong sort of people to the area. Now that's a twist.
God damn. Déjame nosotros que estás en el cine.
Okay, so a lot of these are saying, what's the meaning of life without God? What's your rebuttal to that? Or
There's no
what's your
rebuttal?
response to that?
What do you mean?
Does life have meaning without God?
Does what?
Does life
Does life what?
have meaning without God?
Yeah. What the fuck?
All
What
right,
am I, autistic?
continue.
Son pendejos, son lo que son, güey. Mira, Nomás te voy a decir tres cosas, güey. Y si no son suficientes, pues ya no. Suicídanse. I don't know.
Mm.
Mira. Putas.
That's a
Cheve.
good. That's a
Coca. Digo,
okay.
perico. Perdón. Perico. ¿Qué
They're
más
like,
quieres?
they're like, that's all we need.
Cha. En esta vida y la próxima, chingazo.
Interesting. Here's
Como
a,
dice, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
here's an interesting take on that question. Whether there is a God or not, that shouldn't affect you either way.
Precisely.
It says here that even if life were meaningless and it would remain like that forever, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that's an unspoken assumption people make. That if it is meaningless, then that's a bad thing. I think that's an interesting
Yeah.
perspective. Huh.
I think so too.
At the very least, in terms of the God angle, at least that would be one less thing to worry about, and it would be a significant thing to not worry about. But if it does give you meaning, then use it to your advantage. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, that's what I've always said too. Is that like, if it helps you and makes your life better for you, then go for it, whatever it may be.
What were the three things you said?
Oh yeah, right.
Are those your three things?
Not bad.
Here's another one. This one's kind of like not as deep. The Monte Carlo problem, right?
Okay.
You know how you have three options, right? One of them has
Okay.
has like the prize. You pick any of the three doors, right? Just pick any of them. And then the host tells you that one of these doors does not have the option, right? Or it doesn't have the
Okay.
prize. And
Yeah.
so it is always recommended you swap to the other door, which wasn't the original door you picked,
Okay.
right? And
Sure.
that is better. It is always better to do that, even though you may not always get the prize.
You know, have you ever seen the movie 21?
The 21 Jump Street.
No, but that's a good one too. No, 21. It's just called 21.
Nah.
It's about a true crime of these MIT students, I think, that were counting cards in blackjack.
Oh, okay. I have heard of this. I don't think I've seen. I haven't seen the movie though.
There's a scene with the professor and one of the students that they recruit to be part of the crime where they do that example that you just gave out, essentially. And in that, they essentially explain, well, the student, the motherfucker that they were recruiting, explain that if you switch, you're more likely to win because the first time that you pick, you're most likely to get it wrong, right?
Yep.
Because you have 2 out of 3 chances.
Yep.
So you pick the wrong one, let's say, in the most likely scenario. Okay. So then they tell you which one is wrong. So that only leaves the right answer. So of course you're going to switch to take advantage of that. But that only really happens if you do pick the first time wrong.
Yeah.
Which is most likely, but not always. Because again, it is 33% of the time is a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I hope people realize that.
Yeah. That is an important thing to keep in mind. Regardless, though, it is still always better to swap.
Yes, I agree with that.
Now, the thing about that, the reason I brought it up is because there are sometimes people who don't understand that. and I think I know why. So you start out with 3 doors, right? So you have a 1 out of 3 chance to get the right answer, right?
Right.
And even though the host would tell you that one of the doors is wrong, I think in the head of these people, they still think of that third door as still existing. So instead of bringing your chance to half and half, they think it's still a third and a third.
The second time isn't the same chance.
No, no, I think that they think that the second time is the same chance, and that's why there's no reason to swap. I think that's what people would say.
What the fuck is está la luz?
Are you driving? Are you like in the middle of a parking lot right now?
¿Qué dice?
Are you at a light?
I'm at a hotel.
Oh, you got home? Dang.
I'm at a hotel.
Yeah, your new home.
This is not my new home, motherfucker. What the hell?
Yeah, it is.
It's just how I be moving, you know.
Are you moving the product?
Cállate, okay? Not so loud.
It's recorded. The whole thing's recorded.
You're like, here, officer.
Mods get him.
You're like, reward money. What the fuck? This motherfucker robbing a statue against its butt. ¿Dónde estábamos?
We should do a personality test. Have you done those?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Alright. Which
Pero ahí
one?
me lo lees.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh wait, actually, I can stream it here so you can see.
a ver.
There you go. All right. There's all these options here. Have you taken this one yet? I think everybody has. The 16 personalities one.
Oh, these suck, but that's okay.
Which one do you recommend?
That one, the Zappa project. Esa.
Start test.
Start test.
What if I don't agree with this? They literally gave me no option.
No content.
Oh, they want everything. Look at this.
Hell no. I mean, it's a pistol, that's why, but no. Go back. Let's do a BuzzFeed one. Let's do a BuzzFeed one.
Ooh, actually, let's do morality questions.
Hmm?
Morality questions. Moral dilemmas.
Reddit.
It's the first one that came up. Ask philosophy. Or you want to go to Quora instead?
That's philosophy. What a cool effect. Or should I cool effect?
Oh, this is a trolley problem. Okay. Right? The trolley problem? You've heard of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They need to ask preliminary questions. Torture, is it good or bad? As a matter of principle.
It's bad.
I think, even if you take morality out, it's still bad. Because it's not going to get you the answer you always want. It's unreliable. Now, when you bring in morality back in, it's even more bad. So I don't think there is a reason for torture.
It's just unnecessary.
Yeah. And you're not going to get what you think you're going to get from torture. Alright, the morality of an action is determined by whether, compared to other available options, it maximizes the sum total of happiness of all the people affected by it. Ooh.
What?
So the morality of something you do is determined by how the outcome of the good of between the choices available. So if one choice leads to an action but doesn't provide as much good as the second action, which is different but provides more good, then that is a good basis to make a moral action. Based on how much good your choices provide.
No.
No, okay.
Hey, I'll say this. I've seen my dad scroll full in honor of my mother, and nobody was fucking happy in that situation. But he had to do it porque es su mujer.
Did it provide the most amount of happiness?
No. It was all for pride, honestly.
Let's see. I think this is going to be the aspect that most people take issue. The maximizes the total sum of happiness of all the people affected by it. I don't think
impossible.
I don't think there are going to be a lot of people that think of everybody. I think there's going to be quite a few people who think about themselves first and foremost. And you know what? I can't blame them. You need to be your own advocate in life. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is always and everywhere wrong to cause another person's death, assuming they wish to stay alive, if the outcome is unavoidable. Or if it's avoidable.
No.
Wait a second, it's always wrong to cause another person's death if the outcome is avoidable.
No.
No. Assuming they wish to be alive? Okay, so if I understand this correctly, it is wrong to kill another person if that outcome is avoidable. If you can avoid killing them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said no. Why did you say no?
Let's say revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like they killed your family or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The outcome is very avoidable. You just don't do shit. But it's not wrong because he's avenging something that's very precious to them. And I'm pretty sure the villain does not want us to die. So of course, I think they want us to stay alive.
So I think you have an issue with this first part, right? Always and everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
Interesting.
Yeah, I guess that's all circumstantial.
That's an interesting take. It is dependent on the situation. I'll have to think about this one. I'm not sure. We'll go with no for now, but I'll have to ponder on that. Alright, number 4. If you can save the lives of innocent people without reducing the sum total of human happiness, without putting your own life at risk, you are morally obligated to do so. Okay.
I want to say no because of all these petty bitches out here.
And this one I actually do say no. And actually say strong no. I don't think you're morally obligated to do anything.
Yeah, you don't owe them; they don't owe you. Honestly.
Yeah. I think it's nice of you to do it, but you aren't obligated to do it. I like again, I feel
No.
like you need to be your own best advocate.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at these questions. Okay, okay. The first one, torture. Alright, the majority say always wrong, but not everybody. I don't know. I'm leaning more towards the always wrong, just because I don't think there's really much. I don't think it's useful at all.
Right. I agree.
Second, maximize happiness. So this one, if I remember, is you have the morality of a decision is based off how much good your choices have between each other, or how much they compare. So if one choice is provides more good towards everybody, that choice is morally better.
We said no because you can't make everyone happy.
I think so. I think part of the issue is that you can't make everybody happy, but one of the choices will make the most amount of people happy, and that choice, according to this setup, this definition, is the more moral choice.
Oh, guess what? I'm an all or nothing better.
I think it's no on this one, and I think it's pretty hard no too.
Why?
The first example that comes into my mind, right, is Star Wars with the Empire and the Resistance. Something that would be good for the Empire would provide way more people. It would affect way more people, right?
Yeah.
And let's say that a decision that made the Empire happy made the rebels sad. Right? Under
Okay.
that definition, you would always morally have to be with the Empire.
Right.
Now, it is a framework that I made specifically for this specific question. I would be aware that under that situation, there would be other moral dilemmas that would be the reverse. But I
Okay.
don't think my issue with this is that I don't think it's a good metric to measure morality.
It isn't.
And that's why I am a strong no on that. I think you should try to maximize happiness, but I don't think that's should be determinant of if it's moral or not.
What about the next one?
Cause of death. Is it what was this? Is it never morally okay to kill anyone if you can avoid it and if they don't want to?
No.
You said no. This one I'm not 100% sure. Why did you say no again?
Like Batman, vengeance.
For vengeance, that's the main thing. I can see that. I could also see people saying that death is not the worst thing you could do. And so if you want to maximize your vengeance, then this wouldn't be as efficient. Maybe? I don't know.
Nah.
I'm so unsure about this one. But we put no. Alright, save an innocent's life. You are obliged to do it. Or you are not obliged. This one, I think we are against the majority. I still don't think
Yeah.
that's a good metric at all. I don't think you should do anything. Or no,
Yeah.
what was this one? You must do it because it's the most moral option. I don't like that. It's a good
It's like
idea, but no.
yeah, but like not in practice because like again, you don't owe them and they don't owe you.
Yeah, and this under this situation, under this mentality, if it's something that caused you a bad and ill, but it made a whole lot of more people good, then under this mentality you should do it, which I don't agree with.
Mm-hmm. I see what you mean. Sounds like religion to me.
What was it? The original sin or something?
The original.
Okay, this one. Scenario 1, the runaway
Yeah,
train.
that cartoon mom is thick.
Uh,
What?
For this one, wait, go back. What did you say? You piqued my interest.
Nothing. Hey.
Okay, the trolley problem.
Huh?
The trolley problem.
What about it?
Should you divert a train to kill one person, or should you let the train go to kill 5 people?
Hmm. Hmm. You know what's funny is that for some reason I start questioning why the fuck are they separated like that? Why wouldn't they kill them at the same time?
Just do the most efficient thing.
Literally, why the fuck would you separate them? I mean, hold on. Now I have to rethink it from a different perspective. I let the 5 people die.
You would let the 5 people die. Interesting. Why do you
Yeah.
say that?
I don't know them and they don't know me.
That is true. Hmm.
And you're telling me that all 5 people are great people? Not one of them motherfuckers is an asshole? And even
You
further
could
than
also say that the one person doesn't owe you anything either.
no, but like, let's look at it maybe from a legal standpoint. If I become involved, then I murder them. At least manslaughter because I acted in it. But if I don't do anything, I'm not gonna get incriminated with anything.
Interesting. You're bringing the legal system into this.
Yeah, because there's consequences to this shit, right?
That is true, yes.
Realistically, it's not like it's in a vacuum. If it's just death for death, then it doesn't matter, right? I could just go either way. 50-50 chance.
Interesting. Okay, so originally I was thinking that you should turn the train. Reasoning
Okay,
is
why?
that I would rather have 1 dead person than 5 dead people.
Yeah, morally, I understand that aspect, yes.
Yep, but what I had not considered was the personal harm, such as the legal system. In that case, and I would agree with you, don't even get involved in the first place. Because you're right, you don't owe them anything, either way.
Yeah.
Sure.
No,
That's a good perspective. I had not thought about that, and it changed my mind.
But again, it kind of makes it dependent on the situation and circumstance too. So
I guess so. Alright. Scenario next.
¿Cuál es el próximo?
Uh. Oh, so it's a similar thing. Except instead of turning the lever, the man is on a bridge.
And I push him onto the track because he's fat enough to stop it.
Yep. Do you push him or not?
No.
No. I think no, but I think it's for the exact same reason as before. I think whether you push the man or not doesn't have any difference on whether you pull the lever or not in
Right,
terms of
exactly.
consequences to oneself.
Again, I don't owe them and they don't owe me.
Yeah, and I don't think whether you push them or whether you pull a lever should make any difference in your morality.
Right.
Okay.
That's some sue me and I'm not like fucking Crocodile Dundee and have my pocket knife with me. I can just go.
Okay, so it says here that the situation is slightly different. This time, someone named Marty knows for certain that the fat man is responsible for the brakes failing on the train.
Okay.
That the fat man sabotaged the train so that the accident happens. And that the only way to stop the train is for Marty to push the fat man onto the tracks. So this is taking yourself out of the situation.
It's placing the fault on a third character. However, I feel like it also kind of fucks it up with introducing the fact that there's already a he's already morally corrupt, you know.
Who? The fat
Lesser
man or
than
Marty?
us, like the fat guy for sabotaging the train.
Uh-huh.
Because that already puts him inferior to our morality, so we already don't give a fuck what happens to him, right?
Interesting.
So I think that's a double thing. So
It adds
you can maybe even say
it adds two new variables to this scenario.
Yeah, it does. So I don't know how you want to go about that.
Okay, let's tackle the first one. Introducing a third person to do the decision instead of you. This would get rid of our initial thoughts of personal punishment, right?
Yeah.
As somebody else is doing the action.
Yeah, but I think it still stands out. They should probably have the same idea that I'm not going to do anything for them, so they won't do anything for me or anyone else.
I think so too. I would advocate for Marty.
Because I would assume that they think the same way, you know? Just because, I mean, I'm basing off of the fact of just being, you know, out among people, in different events and different places, different times of night, day. It always seems like no one's gonna help you for anything, you know. So in a way, so like because of that, you kind of have to look out for yourself, and everyone should, because you never know, right? You can never trust everyone 100%. You never know what's going on with them. So
yeah,
that's why I think that people don't owe you anything, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that even though one personally wouldn't be making the decision anymore, I think the same philosophy still applies, even if it's a third person. So I think adding that third person factor does not change anything.
Okay.
The fat man being responsible for the failure. This would bring up the question of revenge, I think.
Okay.
In that situation, the fat man was responsible. One could see the action of pushing him to stop the train as retribution, right? That's not. I don't think that's
Okay.
Does that change
Okay,
anything?
okay.
Would we advocate for someone to push the fat man in that case?
Again, I think it just goes back to the fact that I don't know because I don't owe them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like they don't know, right? Or they do know that, but they don't know the whole story. Even then, whether you know or don't know, it's whether you act that matters. And I think they're not gonna act on the basis that, again, they're not gonna. It's not their business.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And the same thing would apply if there was no Marty, but the fat man was still responsible. You still wouldn't push them on the basis that it shouldn't fall on you in any way, because you shouldn't be involved in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, interesting. I think I think so too. I think that you still shouldn't get involved in any way. And if this guy is responsible, there are other ways to deal with it instead of having him take the fall. And besides, he would still be responsible for the 5 deaths.
Yeah. Either way.
All right, so we would still allow the train to continue. Okay, next one. Let's see. The fat man, having avoided being thrown in front of the runway, has been arrested and is now in police custody. Okay. He states that he has hidden a nuclear device in a major urban center, which is primed to explode in 24 hours. Okay. So we already know that the fat man has questionable morality because he sabotaged the train brakes.
Okay. We know.
Okay, so the bomb will explode in 24 hours. It will kill a lot of people. If a bomb, the bomb squad gets to it, there is a chance for it to be neutralized and defused. But it says a chance. It doesn't say guaranteed. The fat man cannot be tricked into revealing the location. So we can't take any info out of the fat man by through deception.
Professor Xavier?
If the fat man is tortured, there is an estimated 75% chance he will give up the location. If he doesn't give up the location, the bomb will explode. Should the fat man be tortured?
Wait.
Okay, so I think I get the premise. The fat man put a deadly bomb.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
It says if the fat man does not reveal location, the bomb will explode. And what the hell is up with the chance of it being diffused? Is that negated?
I think it's just so that you are aware that even if you were to get over the first hurdle of getting the information out of him, it's still not a guarantee that you would be able to defuse the bomb. So there's 2 hurdles. That second hurdle is kind of implied, I think. Or not implied, it's kind of like hidden. I think it's meant for you to just focus on the first hurdle of whether you can even get the information out of the man. So you cannot persuade him that it's wrong or anything.
Also, it kind of also negates our earlier decision on torture because here is guaranteeing a 75% chance.
That is true. There is a majority. There's more than half that you will get the information you want.
Yeah, like that compared to 0, motherfucker. Yeah, like that changes the whole fucking aspect of torture. Yes, for sure it does.
Okay. This would be affecting making a moral decision based on the a bigger good than another. What am I trying to say? One decision brings more good to the world than the other decision. And because of that, that should be your your guide for which one is the more moral one. So because torturing the man has a chance of bringing more good to the world than not torturing the man, that should be your moral decision. Huh. And so you're leaning towards yes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that it is the right decision to torture him, but I don't think that that decision is based off how much good that decision would bring into the world.
Right.
I think that the philosophy behind that decision in this scenario is not the right one to use, even though it's the right answer. For me, it would be the same
Right.
as a kid guessing or doing their math wrong and getting the right answer, even though the math is wrong.
Mm-hmm. Right. I know what you're getting at.
Okay, interesting. Nationality. Are you from Are you from Great Britain?
Norway. Tip trio.
19 and under. Are you 19 and under?
What's that way?
You can only pick male or female? What if I'm a other?
Oh,
Consistency score. Okay, I guess we were more consistent than the rest, than the average person. For the first one, should you kill the fat man? We were consistent with our beliefs at the beginning. Right? For the trolley problem, the majority of people voted yes, you should turn the trolley.
Oh.
We're the vast minority here.
we got a lot of fucking superheroes over here.
But do you see how when you push the fat man off, then they say no? I think the majority of people would see a distinction between pulling the lever and pushing the guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then they're getting their hands dirty.
I think so, and I think I think what they don't realize is if you pull the lever, you are still getting your hands dirty.
Uh-huh.
The third one, the fat guy,
A
sabotaged it.
sabotage.
Should you push him? Yes or no?
Oh, all of a sudden they're superheroes again.
Once there's a reason for revenge, they say yes.
Uh-huh.
Torture the guy, yes or no? Interesting. People do say no.
Mm.
I'd be interested in seeing why no.
Right. I don't see a reason why.
Let's see. Let's think about this. This is a nice exercise. Why would people say no? Let's try to build their argument.
Well, because they're just stoic in their conviction, you know? They're just like, torture is wrong no matter what, because again, it's just hurting people for no reason, supposedly. I
think that is it, but I think that is also paired with the fact that even if you torture him, it's not a guaranteed. I think it's a combination between both of them. That there's a chance that you would torture the guy, and you still wouldn't get anything out of it.
Okay. It's not a guarantee, sure. But 75, goddamn, how many times do you have to do it?
I think that's their point of
That's
view, and I
weird.
still would not agree with them. I still think you should.
and you're like, and they're still wrong.
Ooh, okay. A piece about bigotry. Okay, so I think this would apply specifically to whether you would throw the man off the bridge.
Okay.
I think the first piece above, I haven't read this. This is the first time I've been on the website. I have no idea. At this point, I think what they're trying to say is that people are more inclined to push the guy because he's fat.
Wait.
I think
What?
this piece of bigotry right here is trying to imply that people value the guy less because he's fat.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so I think that whether
Motherfucking fake pig, right?
exactly, so whether you had a fat guy or a beautiful person,
But goddamn, if you had one of the motherfuckers from BTS,
let me tell you, I don't care if there's 50
at
people on the track, I still wouldn't.
least some of themselves were on the track for him.
Okay.
Dios, todos.
Mm. Okay, so this is like a self-reflection piece. I think it also points out here that people would make the decision whether by utilitarian. And so what does that mean? Utility? Like which one you can get the most work out of?
What?
What's utilitarian?
Utilitarian? Where do you see that?
This graph right here is
Okay.
I think that the people who have this view, 53% of them voted to push the fat man under the utilitarian framework. And 30% did it under a non-utilitarian framework. Oh no, wait, I misunderstood it. It says here. It says that if you do prescribe to utilitarianism, then about half of them will push the fat man off, just based off that ideology. As opposed to people who have a different ideology, who are non-utilitarianism, they're like something else. Only 30% of them would push the fat man off. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. I'm not sure what utilitarianism means, but if I had to guess, if you save the 5 people versus the 1 person, those 5 people can do more work in life as opposed to the 1 person.
Okay. I guess it goes to the conclusion of like not wasting life, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So for them, they would push the man or pull the lever based off how much utility you get at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting. So you can look at it based off how much utility you get. Or I think for us, it would be based off how it impacts you personally, right?
Don't turn on the trolley crew.
What? The mic
What
didn't
is
pick
it?
up. What'd you say?
Don't turn trolley group. What the fuck is that?
Where do you see that? Utilitarian trolley group?
No, don't turn.
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Don't turn the trolley group in the average. What is it? Piece of data that those people who say it's wrong to turn the trolley. Oh no. So this is about the people who don't turn the trolley. Okay. It is in the significant minority for this group that the man should be thrown. Okay, so there's an inconsistency. I think this is what it's doing. It's noting that the people who don't turn the trolley,
Mhm.
they also do not throw the fat man off. But only 11% of them follow that consistency,
Mm.
as opposed to the average, which is 40%.
So we got a lot of fucking Boy Scouts over here.
Actually, you know what? This is weird. The people who do not turn the trolley, right? They don't pull the lever, right?
Yeah.
So they would not pull the lever, but they would push the man off. Interesting. Why would they do that?
Because they're fucking freaks. What do you mean?
I don't think that
Bunch of
makes
fucking street dominers.
does that make sense? They won't do it unless they become much more actively involved. That's weird. That's interesting. I'd like to have somebody explain that.
Oh, I know why.
Why? They get a thrill out of it?
Because no, because they actually get use out of one death as opposed to like when it's just pulling the lever.
Interesting. Well, if it's based off the
Well,
usefulness, wouldn't you still pull the lever because those last five people would be more useful than the one person?
oh, I just ended up watching this fucking Teen Nick cartoon of a Mexican family. What the fuck? Where were we? Oh
Uh,
yeah, why would the fuck would they do that? Because actually, now that I thought about it, my basis for like having use for the fat man dying is almost the same end result as if you just pulled the lever.
it is, but they don't pull the lever and they do push them in. I don't think this is based off the end result. There has to be a different angle we're not thinking of. Because both those decisions give opposite results.
Okay, maybe a little bit more real world
Okay.
would be that if you pull the lever, not only can you get in trouble, but like you can get in trouble because it's gonna be like, well, why didn't you just pull the brakes, emergency brakes or something, you know? But if it's the fat man, that indicates that there is no such levers around. There's nothing to do other than to push the fat man, as another last resort.
Hmm. So in the first scenario, you pull the
So there's
lever.
consequences because there's options.
Oh no, in the first scenario, you don't pull the lever because there's options. And the
Yeah,
second, you push the man because there's no other option other than to push the man.
yeah, that's the only way I can imagine it because you can make the same assumption for both scenarios.
Hmm. Okay. I see flaws in that, but do I believe somebody would
That's what
look
I'm
at that?
saying, bro.
Huh.
That's what I mean. Because again, you can make the same assumption to both. It negates the whole fucking scenario and shit. But that's the only path that I could see them taking with logical steps in between. That's not sound.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's something weird with that. It says
Mm.
here that in the end, one of the things they can conclude is that the fatness of the man does not weigh their decision. Or maybe it does. Maybe they don't like fat people. They just push them. Oh man, I would want to have somebody explain their reasoning on that.
I know. What kind of psychopaths are they?
Okay, the next category: get that chip out of my brain.
It's a simulation.
Okay, so this one is based off this passage or book or whatever. Okay, so they're going to begin with some preliminary data to kind of get a feeling for what our morality is or philosophy
Okay.
is. The first one, a small girl is playing on a swing at a local park when an adult comes along and pushes her off into the dirt to make her cry. For no reason other than he was having a bad day at work.
Okay, cool.
Were his actions morally wrong?
It is. He's such an asshole.
I think everybody says yes, right? Unless it's like for
Yes, he's such an asshole. That's so funny though.
Okay, yeah, before I click next, why do we say yes? It's not morally justified of him to take out his anger on somebody else. I think whether it's a little girl or not is irrelevant.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just the fact that, like, bro, you're taking out on innocent beings, bruh.
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 All right.
What's that?
It says here, excellent. You seem like a decent person. Okay, so it says here, suppose that there is some fact about weather factor X makes it inevitable for lightning to strike a barn.
I know this sounds crazy, but I just met this awesome person.
Okay, so the weather will make lightning strike a barn and burn 3 people to death.
Okay.
It is nobody's responsibility. Nobody's responsible about the weather, and nobody is responsible for causing a link between the weather and the burning and the death of those 2 people.
Their parents are looking for a babysitter. I'm just happy to see you so excited about a new book. I know it's hard to make friends in a new city, and I want you to be.
Okay, I think I see it. Okay, so this is the
Yes,
scenario.
it follows that nobody's responsible.
The weather causes lightning to strike a barn, and that lightning causes a fire which kills 3 people. The question is anybody responsible for that to happen?
I don't control the weather, Jackie.
It says yes. It follows that nobody's responsible. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Right?
nobody's responsible.
Okay. It says here, is it true that a person can only be morally responsible for what they have done if they could have done otherwise? Or, to put it another way, if the outcome is inevitable, if it always was the case that the person was going to do some action X, there were simply no alternatives, then it's true that they cannot be morally responsible for the outcome. So is a person responsible for their actions if there was no other thing he could have done? I think I see the connection they're trying to do with the previous question with the weather, but I think that's different. Because I think whether or not you have no other option of what action you take, it's still an action you take, and it's still your responsibility for the action you take.
This is almost like the torturing the bomber, because it's giving us a guarantee of a probability that just isn't true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's impossible that in all options and all like whatever alternate is, it's all going to be the same, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be variation no matter what. But they're guaranteeing that it's going to be the same. So of course we can't base it on just regular moral ground.
So how would you
So
respond
yeah,
to
they
this?
would not be responsible.
They would not be morally responsible.
No, because I mean, shit, whether they are or aren't is independent.
Interesting. I think that by the simple fact of doing the action, they are morally responsible. I think the surrounding scenarios around it are interesting, but I don't think it changes the fact that you are responsible for your own actions.
Wrong. That's kidding.
Wrong. Here,
No, actually, I agree with you. No, you're right. Now that I think about it, yeah, because what if they end up doing something fucked up? It's like, nah, they still did it.
so like back to
You're
that.
right. Responsibility is what I didn't take into account.
Yeah. Yeah, like back to the bomb one that you had mentioned. Even though it's not a guarantee, one is still taking the active choice to do it.
Yeah. All right. Next. Oh,
All right.
what the fuck is this?
So those were the pre-questions. All right, so now this is the scenario. Okay. So it says Becky, the leader of Free All Fluffies, is a radical animal rights group. Hatch a devious
Becky with the good hair.
with the good hair. Hatch a devious plan to kill 4 caribou hunters. It
What the
involves her
fuck?
detonating some explosives she placed in the crevices of a glacier, with the intention of causing an avalanche that will crush the hunters. She goes ahead with her plan, detonating the charges at time 1, which does cause an avalanche and crushes the hunters at time 3. However, what Becky doesn't know is that glaciers are gradually eroding, and she had not placed a dynamite in the crevices. Some ice and rock would have broken free
Why
at
does that
time
sound
2.
like you're retarded or something? You're really like those fucking fucked up, not fucked up, like those
like AI generated voice.
no, like the stupid kids in class that are like gangbangers that are reading out loud.
Okay, I think I understand the question. So Becky puts bombs with the intent of causing an avalanche, right? To kill the hunters.
Okay.
What Becky doesn't know is that even if she didn't put the bombs, there would still be an avalanche that would still kill the hunters. Is Becky morally responsible for the deaths of the hunters? The hunters would have died to the avalanche anyways, whether Becky planted the bombs or not.
Okay. But here's a question that's gonna dictate how I think about this. Does Becky know that?
Ooh, actually, let me see. No, she does not know this.
Okay, then yes, she is morally responsible because she believes she killed him.
Interesting. Okay. Let me think about this because I've just said the scenario, but I haven't actually given it much thought.
This actually goes back to remind me of the Russian author. I forgot his fucking name. Lechevsky or some shit like that.
No, wait, that's German.
Lechevsky or something like that. Or is that the composer? I don't know. But the one that wrote Crime and Punishment. That book dealt a lot with guilt, and that being the punishment of murdering someone. So yeah, I think it's more. First of all, morality is an internal, inner thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are going to be thinking for Becky, then we have to assume, like Becky, that we don't know.
Interesting. Yep. So under Becky's view, she causes the death of the hunters. So she made the action to kill the hunters. So yes, she is morally responsible. I follow the train, and I agree.
Yeah. All right, next. You see, we're not even in class, and we were already doing philosophy major shit.
Whip out the word spreadsheet. We're about to make a 30-paper essay on this.
we're gonna call Hamlin and be like, "Hey, give us another one."
I want my second degree right now. Okay, let's see. Scenario 2. It has come to the attention of an evil genius, Professor Zach Coyne, that there was a plan afoot to assassinate Bunny Armor.
It's Amor, stupid.
Armor.
Armor.
The leader of the radical rights group. Okay. Coyne has a strong dislike for anything four-legged, so he's very keen on the plan. However,
Let's say
not
his wife
wanting
then.
he doesn't want to risk tenure and doesn't want to become directly involved.
Did you hear me?
What did he say?
I said he will say his wife then.
Oh no!
God. Ay, va tu philosophy major. Me lo limpio en la cola.
You put a lot of thought into this, huh?
Ah, shit.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so the first part. The professor is aware of a plan to kill the leader, right?
Wait, he kidnapped the would-be assassin.
And
Might
planted
have been tired.
Okay.
Okay.
So
He wiped
Professor
Huntington's
controls the
memory.
assassin. Okay.
Okay.
He wipes the memory of the kidnapping, so the assassin doesn't know that he's being controlled.
Okay.
Okay. Then the professor tracks the killer's intents. And if the killer shows any deviation, the professor will make sure that the killer goes ahead with the plan.
Oh, wait. Okay.
And because of the manipulation the professor does, the killer does not show any doubts in the plan, and assassinates Coyne, the leader. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just summarize for myself and for the audience, of course. We have the professor. The professor is aware of a plan to kill the leader of the animal rights group. The professor kidnaps the assassin to carry out the plan. The professor controls the assassin, and the assassin does not know what is happening. He is unaware that he's being controlled. There might have been moments where the assassin was having second thoughts, but the professor made sure that the assassin was okay with it internally with his microchip, and the assassin goes ahead and kills the leader. Is the assassin responsible for killing the leader?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Why do you say that?
Because it even said so in itself. It kind of revealed itself at the end that Coin never had to activate the trap. So in other words, it didn't matter whether Coin was there or not.
Oh,
Or was gonna do it
interesting. I didn't read that
regardless.
last part. Okay.
So it was gonna happen regardless. So it was like, it's like if fuck, what's his name? If Coin did it to someone else, Huntington still would have been the one at fault.
Yeah.
Same shit again.
Yep, I do agree with that. I hadn't read that last sentence.
Yeah. Honestly, that's what fucking made it concrete for me. I mean, I had the idea in my head as I was reading, but then that concreted it.
Yeah, no, yeah. He's 100% responsible. The assassin is 100% responsible. All right.
No one really knows. It's a fucking mystery. The whole point they're trying to solve.
Okay, it says here that there are two contradictions in our train of thought. Okay, so first with the Becky with the good hair and the avalanche. It
Okay.
says that we claim that nobody is morally responsible for. Oh, so this is going back to the weather one. That the weather causes the lightning bolt, and the lightning bolt kills the people in the barn in a fire.
Oh, I see what you mean. But here's where they're not considering the fact that we're thinking for Becky, not for us.
Exactly. I think that Becky is responsible for her actions because her intent
So
was
yeah, we,
there.
we fix that contradiction. We fix
Yeah,
that
yeah.
contradiction.
As opposed to
Pecked.
the
Next.
weather. The weather doesn't have an intent to cause a fire. It's just random.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I
It's
don't agree
our
with that
point of view.
contradiction. Yeah, contradiction
Yeah.
one now.
Check.
Chat mods, get him. All right, let's see.
Bam. Okay, the
Contradiction
chip. You
2.
correct?
It says here that we claim that the assassin is responsible for killing the leader. But we stated that the person can only be responsible for what they have done if they could have done otherwise. If they had no choice but to kill the leader, then they could not be responsible for their actions.
What did you say?
Okay, so originally, like in one of the pre-questions, we had answered that if somebody does an action
Uh-huh.
and there was no other choice but to do that action, then they are not responsible for their action.
No, but yeah, then we changed it around because we're saying that they still did it, the consequence, you know?
Yeah, okay, interesting. So I guess,
So that's why it's contradicting that. It's because I guess we didn't change the answer on the fucking
yeah, I
screen.
guess so, yeah. I guess we forgot. Never mind. No contradiction.
Technical difficulty.
Oh, it says, oh, this is explaining their thought process for Becky and the Avalanche. Well, I think we feel pretty confident that even if the Avalanche was going to happen, Becky's still responsible.
Yeah.
The chip. Okay, so even though the assassin technically had no choice, that trap was never triggered, so that remorse never came across. So he's still responsible for his action.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, Ted, Hunter, and okay, free will and determination.
Thanks for the assist, Sergio.
No que hoy vas a dormir.
Oh shoot, you're right. I do need to go.
I've been using a lot of big brain fucking things, bro.
Are you feeling the effects, or have you lost your effect?
You know this is the smartest we've sounded since we were in the Howling.
What does that say about us?
Education at its best.
This is what college education gets you.
Literally.
All right, we're gonna stop the stream here then.
Okay, thank you for joining us. I hope you learned something, or if not, at least wasted time on something. Thank you for wasting time with us. We'll see you around next time. Comment, subscribe. Steven says I didn't like, plus, upgrade, upload, whatever the fuck you all kids do these days, TikTok. Pooping and a cat.
Meow. All right, we are off.